book lovers, it is G-Swizz here, and I am here today with another book haul. Yeah, I just got back from doing the Biblio Squad live show for Stranger Dreamer, so I just felt like I was in the mood. I never usually film on Sundays, you know, I do my normal Sunday routine, but I never usually film on Sundays, it's usually my Sabbath, so what am I doing filming on Sunday? I'm doing a book haul, because I have accumulated a lot of books, and there are so many other books that I'm going to accumulate. I have a book depository order coming out, I still have some books from publishers coming to me, and I haven't even received Aqua War or Lord of the Shadows yet, and you know, I'm at least getting 2 editions of each.
My neighbors are outside the window and they're just lurking around. I'm just can you stop lurking around so you don't make me feel embarrassed? Thank you. Anyway, I think they're kind of out of sight, so no, they're not out of sight. Oh my gosh, they need to stop.
And also, I'm not even going to be including my Funko Pop haul in this either, because I've got a heck of a lot of books already to haul, and you might be expecting a haul from me very soon, because I don't think I'm going to really hold back, because I usually restrain myself from doing monthly hauls, because personally I don't think I actually collect that many books in a month, but then when I get to one of these hauls I'm just dang it, there are just too many books. So yeah, where do you find that balance? I don't know. So yeah, I have 22 books here, so you guys are in for a real treat. I'm gonna get started with a haul. So I'm gonna start off with a couple of books that I received from publishers. Both books I've received from Penguin Teen Australia. So the first book that I received from Penguin Teen Australia is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I have filmed my review. I'm not too sure if I've posted it by the time I'm doing this haul, but yes, spoiler alert, I absolutely loved it. If you guys are wanting a very fun contemporary and very relatable contemporary, and a contemporary that includes some diversity and stuff, I would definitely recommend this one. I actually haven't read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda yet. This author is pretty much famous for that book, so what am I doing? But I've read this one and I loved it so much. And apparently it contains minor spoilers for that, but honestly I don't really know what the spoilers are for that book. I think I will find out when I read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. People just keep on walking past my house. The last but certainly not least book that I received from a publisher this month is also by Penguin Teen Australia, which I mentioned previously, and man, one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I'm so blessed to get to review this. It is Trials of Apollo: The Dark Prophecy, which is the second book in the Trials of Apollo series, and guys, I'm 130 pages into it and I need to finish it before I read Aqua War, because Aqua War is coming in 2 days time, and if I don't finish it by the time Aqua War comes out, then I'm just gonna have to put it on hold. I never like to DNF books and then read books after, you know, the book comes out, because I definitely want to read Aqua War before spoilers come out, so I need to read this beforehand, because also this book is coming out the same day as Aqua War. I definitely want to read it before everybody else does, because I don't want spoilers of any of that. Now I will move on to our Biblio Squad book picks of the month for the past couple of months. So the first one I need to talk about is Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhoda Beleza. We read this as a squad and we did a live show. I will link the live show down in the description so you can check it out. It was our March book pick. I did really enjoy it. It was really good. It was very fast paced. It was awesome, and this cover is stunning. I'm really excited for the next book in the series to come out. But yeah, check out our live show if you haven't already yet, because we had a pretty good time talking about it, especially me butchering one of the characters' names. Hashtag Pablo, not Pablo. And the other Biblio Squad book pick of the month that I need to show you will be Stranger Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I'm so happy I bought this. It is the first 5 out of 5 star read from our Biblio Squad book picks of the year. The other books were okay. The other books were good. I'll just say that. I mean, the first book wasn't really that great, but as the year went on, I feel like the books started to get really good. But this book was the best one that we've read so far, and you know, we got Aqua War, which is, I don't know, it's probably gonna top it. I don't know if it's gonna top it or not, but this is instantly going to be one of my favorites of the year. If you guys are put off by the hype, please do not be put off by the hype. It is an amazing book. You guys need to read it. It is just so beautifully written. I highly recommend it. You need to read it. I had no faith in it before I read it, and I've read it now, and it's amazing, and I won't stop raving about this. It was just so beautiful, but I just can't shut up about it. The next 2 books I will show you in this haul were from a library sale, which is really cool. I literally had to take the library binding off of it, because I do not like my books to be laminated and stuff, but it took ages to get it off. It's really cool when you can buy a book for 50 cents. First book I have is This Song Will Save Your Life by Leila Dale, and yes, there's obviously the stamping of it, and the pages are yellow. It was really difficult to protect the book as I was taking the binding off, but I've actually wanted to read this book for such a long time, and I actually remember when this was a new book in the library, but unfortunately I feel like this was one of the books that a lot of people didn't actually read. I'm so happy I finally own it. I mean, I've wanted to own it for such a long time. It's a book that I would never see in bookstores ever. I think it's a contemporary about a girl that struggles with mental illness, but then she walks into function that has music, and she really likes to DJ or something like that, and she finally feels like she can express herself through DJing. that really did intrigue me because I feel like music is a great expression of art as well, and so I definitely went to read this. It's not even a very long book, it's very short. I'm really excited to get to this one, and all the Australians are gonna love me for this next one. I picked up Every Breath for the, the library sale and stuff, and it did take me ages to, take the binding off, and it does feel like very sticky and stuff, but hey, I saved the book, and again, Yellow Pages, it has been loved. I'm really excited to read this series. Apparently, it's like a modern take on Sherlock Holmes. So this guy's Sherlock, and I think she's Watson, and it takes place in Melbourne, in Victoria, which is a state away from Sydney, and I'm actually planning to go to Melbourne for VidCon, which I'm really excited about. Really excited to read this and see what the hype's all about from the Australian book community. Speaking of Aussie YA, I have Dracora by Lynette Noni. If you guys didn't know, this is the third book in the Akane series. Not Akane series, it's the Midorian Chronicles, not Midorian, not Dorian. Oh my gosh, I love Dorian so much. Dracora, 100% best book in the series. I've fallen in love with the characters so much, and I love the twist that this book did take, and I love the fact that I got to know so much more of the Australian book community through this book as well, and through the rest of the series. I'm really excited to continue on with the series and to follow it through the next couple of books, and I'm also excited for Whisper by Lynette Noni. In fact, Lynette Noni has instantly become one of my new favorite authors. I'm really excited to read more from her. I cannot wait. Man, oh, so excited. The next book that I bought this month was Charisma by G.N. Ryan. If you guys don't know, well, this makes it obvious. She's the author of Nerve, which is a book that I did end up enjoying. I preferred the movie, but the book was pretty good. I liked reading the book before I watched the movie. I mean, I know that it was like completely different, but it was a story that I would have really enjoyed even if the movie didn't really exist. So I'm really excited to see this. It kind of sounds like very similar to Nerve, like it's got that thrilling aspect, except it has to do with drugs instead of a game. In fact, a drug named Charisma. I'm really excited to read it and see what else G.N. Ryan has in store for us as an author. The next book that I read this month was Wing Jones by Catherine Weber. If you guys do not know, this is a very diverse book, and it has to do with a girl named Wing Jones, obviously, and the way that she copes with her grief is to run. I'm not too sure if there's anything else to do with the plot, but apparently I can't really describe her culture because I don't remember what she was, but I know that she's Asian. We have an Asian protagonist and we follow an Asian family. So that's all I really know about this book. So yeah, I definitely want to get to it because I hear nothing but great things about it, and I watched an author interview and I fell in love with the concept already. The never thing I have to haul is the fact that my parents got me food. This is great. My parents are the best. Next book that I got this month, Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. If you guys don't know, Leanne Moriarty is actually an Australian author, and like I've never read any of her books, but this is a mini-series, and so I guess I really do want to read this. I mean, I've watched trailers of the mini-series. Okay, you know what? I definitely want to read this book, and apparently it's like one of the best books that she's written. I don't think it's going to be on this month's TBR, but I definitely want to read this before I decide to watch the mini-series, because the mini-series looks very interesting. The next book that I have to haul is Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. This is the first Neil Gaiman book I've ever bought. I've wanted to buy Neil Gaiman's books for the longest time. Like, I think the one book that I really want to read from him is The Ocean at the End of the Lane. But as soon as he released this book, it looks very different from like the other covers that he has in like his series and stuff, but Norse Mythology, man. The reason why I picked this up is because I really love Magnus Chase, I really love Thor and Loki, and apparently this follows Thor, Loki, and Odin. I definitely want to read this book, especially before we get to Thor Ragnarok. In fact, I feel like in October, I'm gonna have like this big marathon of all the Magnus Chase books, all the Thor movies, and then everything to do with Norse mythology. But before we get to that month, we definitely want to read this. The next book that I have to haul today will be Geekerella by Ashley Poston. All I know about this is that it's a Cinderella story, but like with a geeky twist, and it has to do with like convention and stuff. I've just been so hyped up for it, and like everybody has been reading about it, and they've been raving about it, and they've just been loving it, so I want to love it too. I want to be on the train, so there we go. The next book that I have to haul today will be The Secret Science of Magic by Melissa Keel. If you guys don't know, she's the author of The Incredible Adventures of Cinnamon Girl, which I recently read. I actually bought this, and I was really mad at myself because I did not read The Incredible Adventures of Cinnamon Girl, which was her previous book that I bought ages ago, in fact, when it came out. And then, like, I bought this, and I'm just like, why did I buy this when I didn't read The Incredible Adventures of Cinnamon Girl? So, like, I was very confused at myself, like, why do you do this? You know what? I read that book finally. To be honest, it's kind of a cover buy. But not only that, it's got a very interesting concept. I think the guy really loves magic, and the girl is really into science. And so, like, you know, the secret science of magic. That's like... that's the title. I honestly do not know how to describe this book, to be honest. But hey, you know what? It sounds awesome. The concept sounds great, and so I definitely want to pick it up and see what everybody's been hyping it for. I really loved Melissa Keel's writing style in The Incredible Adventures of Cinnamon Girl, and so hopefully we'll get the same writing style, but also I hope we get more nerdy references like we did in the other book. The next two books that I have to hold today will be The Wrath in the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. Yes, I finally own these beautiful editions that I've just been raving about on my channel for the longest time. time. This is like aesthetic goals right here. I can't with these covers. So glad I picked them up, and I literally like spent my last dollar on these two because like I needed to. I needed to buy these covers. As soon as I saw them in the bookstore, I needed to buy them. The next book that I picked up was Remind Me How This Ends by Gabrielle Tozer. This is also an Australian YA book. I'm so happy I picked up a good amount of Australian YA this month. Pretty much, I don't really know too much about this, but I know they go to the YA book meet at George Street Dimmock, so I'm pretty excited to read this one. I don't know if I'm gonna read it before I get to the book meet. Hopefully I do. The next two books in this haul are actually comics, and they are The Wicked and Divine Volume 1, which is the first act, and the second one being Pandemonium. I've been hearing mixed reviews about it, actually. I don't want to like say that I've been hearing rave reviews about it, but there are a few people that really like it and are intrigued by the art style. The reason why a lot of people have been giving mixed reviews is that they didn't really get the point, they didn't really get the concept, but they said you need to read it twice in order to really get it, and so I definitely feel like this is a comic book series that I would be invested in because it's literally eye candy. I definitely want to read this series, and I at least want to give these two first volumes a try. The next book I picked up was literally like a must. I couldn't pass this up because this is my baby that we're talking about. She's everything to me. She's literally like one of my favorite protagonists in the whole wide world, and I had to pick up a novelization of her because duh. I mean, it's the unbeatable Squirrel Girl, and this is Squirrel Meets World, and this is by Shannon and Dean Hale. I love Squirrel Girl. I love her comics. There's so many other protagonists that I love, but she's like my favorite Marvel female protagonist at the moment, and so I definitely want to read this book because it literally looks quirky and there's a lot of text format in here. I'm kind of hoping that there are some really quirky tweets like there are in the Squirrel Girl comics between her and Tony Stark, but hey, if there isn't, I'll still be happy. Another Marvel book that I picked up was The Guardians of the Galaxy Castaways by David McDonald. I mean, this doesn't have like the best reviews on Goodreads. It's literally like, what, at a 3.2 or something like that, but hey, I had to pick it up because it's The Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm not really expecting like a big story from it, but like, I don't know why, it's a guilty pleasure for me to pick up these novelizations because just because. My second to last book I have to show you will be Beauty and the Beast, the illustrated edition by an author that I cannot pronounce the name. I didn't really know that Beauty and the Beast was actually a classic. I didn't even know that it was even a book, but it is. What I really like about these editions, I actually have Peter Pan in like a similar edition, is that it's an interactive reading experience. So you go in here and like there's literally pop-outs and lettering is just so pretty, and the illustrations are gorgeous. The only one I don't have in this series so far is the Jungle Book. There are 3 of these classics out currently. There's Peter Pan, Beauty and the Beast, and the Jungle Book. I need to get the Jungle Book. Now, the last book that I have to show you today is a comic, and it is Snot Girl by Brian Lee O'Malley and Leslie Hung. I love Brian Lee O'Malley so much. He is the author of Scott Pilgrim, Seconds, Lost at Sea. I've also ordered Lost at Sea, and I'm really excited to read that one. But this is like a new comic series. The reason why it's called Snot Girl is pretty much apparently she's got a lot of allergies or something like that. Yeah, there's that. And she also has green hair. Volume 1 is called Green Hair Don't Care, so there's that. So that is going to be it for this book haul, book lovers. Stay tuned for my next book haul, which will be a book depository order, Echo, War, and Lord of Shadows, and then like some other books from publishers, and possibly some other books that I buy because the book lover life. Follow me on my social medias. I'm at G-Swizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/G-Swizzle. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.